Hello, this is Dr. Joe Milcheski. Thought I'd do a short video here, kind of a week one introduction. What I thought about doing is giving a short video, not quite a lecture, I mean short, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, each week to kind of stress what I consider the important points in each week's text, chapters, study guides, things like that. It is all important, but I'm going to stress the highlights. I've been in this project management, project engineering uh, occupation for 30 plus years, maybe even 35 plus years. So I definitely know, had quite a few successes over the time, and of course, have had some issues over the times too. So know it both ways. So I'll admit to my good stuff, and I'll admit to some of the stuff that didn't work out quite as well. Uh, Luckily, you have classes like this now. When I was first coming into the industry, you just kind of took over the position, and good luck. A lot of trial and error. Learn things. Sometimes it wasn't that bad learning it that way, but the less trial and error we can have, the better it is. Especially if you're doing multi-million-dollar projects, you do not want something to go wrong, or at least not to go wrong. If you have some risk management involved, initiating some of those tools, maybe there could be some issues, but they won't be as costly. So I thought I'd go over that. Like I said, everything you are responsible for the chapters in the book and the study guide. I'm just going to go over some of what I consider the high points every week. Um, right now, it's a few days before the start of class. On Wednesday, I am sitting at outside my son's house in Denver, Colorado, visiting him. It's a little cool out here, so I got my other son's army jacket on. So I thought I'd do that out here. It isn't too bad out here. It's just a little windy and stuff like that. So let's just go over a couple things. What are the top things I'm looking at are these five key processes. What we're talking about is initiating stage, planning stage, executing stage, monitoring and controlling stage, and closing stage. Definitely looking at initiating and plannings. A couple of key points there. Words like stakeholders, involvement of stakeholders. You just don't go ahead and do a project out on your own and kind of wing it. You have to have input from the people involved. Who are going to be using this project, whether it be manufacturing, service, anything like that. And stakeholders, you could have primary stakeholders, people directly involved. If you're putting in equipment, like I've done quite a few times, you have the operations and production people. They are the primary stakeholders because they will be operating the equipment. You may have some secondary stakeholders, maybe warehousing, shipping and receiving, things like that. Maybe they need a little input on where, if they're going to be moving a lot of material around for that piece of equipment, raw materials, maybe location of that for them, traffic, things like that. So you have primary and secondary stakeholders. And tied into that is keyword. The text splits up the word scope. I'm just going to use it in one project scope in one tense. The scope is basically what needs to be done. In the end, what our stakeholders need, what we need in the way of information from them. Uh, we need to look at seeing if if things can be done the way they want to do. So we're looking at scope, and basically that's what the project is all about. What I believe is important is to get the scope in a written form where everybody who is involved in the project, stakeholders, yourself, all sign off on it, literally sign off on it, and this is what is going to be done. That way, in the future, if anything happens, we can always look at it, and something needs to change that happens. We can look and go, oh, that was not on the scope in the scope of the project. If we got to change something, it may cost money, so now that'll affect the budget. It may cost the a timeline, so it may delay the project a little bit more. So when it comes to scope, we want to have, if you want to say, some protection, some idea of what needs to be done. And if scope needs to change, then scope needs to change. We just need to have some direction, when we're starting out that project, what we think exactly needs to be done. We get into the terms predictive, and we also have the agile or adaptive type of projects. The predictive ones were the ones I was most familiar with. Basically, what you have to do is, what's this project going to be about? Get all the cost estimates, get the time frame, and you put it in a package, and it's a nice little package that tells you everything that's going on with the project, and then you take it to whoever needs to be, your boss, the maybe the board of trustees, the COO, the CEO, whoever needs to sign off, financial people need to sign off on that to get the funds and get the project going. Well, what happens in most projects is things do change, whether it be scope, whether it be some things like, I'm thinking of some construction projects I've done. I did a construction project for Starbucks, a construction in South Carolina. Right as we started the project, we had 2 weeks of basically torrential downpours, flooding, things like that. We were not able to start the project for 2 weeks after that. Once we were able to clear the water, or the water cleared itself. So some of those things happen. Some of them are changes of scope that maybe a stakeholder or we do. Some of the changes may be, if you want to call them, random. Who can stop the rain from coming down? So, like I said, we want to look at the scope, and what happens is we are now gearing and turning more towards this adaptive or agile, where we know things are going to change. Agile means that we have, things will probably change during the project. Sometimes there is a funding, and there is a limit of funding, and you have to get the project done according to what the funding is, good or bad. The other part of that is when you look at things like R&D, research, maybe pharmaceuticals, when they first start out, they're not going to say, oh, this is exactly what we're going to do. When they're researching pharmaceuticals for some disease or something, they don't have it on the first step. They know things are going to be changed, things have to be adjusted, and that pharmaceuticals is just an example. So we're looking more of that agile, knowing that there could possibly be a longer timeline than anticipated. There may be more funds needed. So we're getting more into this agile, which I believe is a good thing. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is these 10 knowledge management areas. You'll see listed in the book with a short definition: resource management, risk management, scope management, quality management. There's 10 of these. All very important, and these are things that have to be managed during a project. Some of them are more important than others. Some you may be nothing involved with the management. Some may be, very important. Scope management, like I said, if scope changes, does it change a little bit? Does it change a lot? Could have an effect. Risk management. What are we going to do if we're going to be doing construction in South Carolina during the rainy season? We may expect some delays there. So there's these management areas that are very important, and to keep those in mind. The last thing I almost forgot is the PMI, Project Management Institute organization for project management. You can sign up, become part of that. I'm sure there are fees. I didn't check too much, but basically what it is a group of professionals, and been around for a while. I think 1958 maybe. And they have set standards on how projects should be done. So it's a good source. We'll be seeing that PMI throughout the book, and kind of their standards since they've developed it, always changing. I shouldn't say they're always changing the standards, but modifying and adapting it, like I mentioned, from predictive to adaptive, agile. So just wanted to do, I'm almost close to 10 minutes, a quick, just kind of let you know what I consider important steps in these projects. Or in this class, I should say. So I guess we could look at this class as a project. So if there's any questions, any issues, please email me, Joseph, Joseph, .milczewski at waldorf.edu. Phone number 330-208-6931. You could text or give me a call. You have a good day.